Hello, and welcome to 7 a.m. coding. So, we're working on 10.10 today, and here it is in a mobile view. And so, last time we made these nice pieces. We can go ahead and make them. So we have this problem on desktop. You don't see that input box, and so it's really hard to pick an emoji on desktop here. If we switch over to, say, web browser, non-desktop mode, we come over here and click, and it didn't even show up. Oh, there it is, okay. And see here, we still have that same problem. It changed because I typed on the keyboard and I knew what to do, but as a user, that's not good. That's not a good experience. But the way we see it on the phone, which is our primary use case, I go here, I go, okay, see, I get this. And so on the phone, it's fine. So we just need to deal with the desktop issue now. And so, how are we going to solve the desktop issue? Well, we want the user to know that they can use their keyboard to type in a new character. So, I don't think there's a way we can do a version of this that works well on both mobile and desktop. Sorry, that's not what I meant. So on mobile, we keep that input field hidden and off the screen because we don't want the user to see it. But here on desktop, that's the problem, is the user here knows what that input field means and knows how to use it. And so they're going to want to. So how do we do that? How do we decide to show that to them on desktop in a way that makes sense? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's start by just showing it on desktop, right? So we have our emoji input here. I go ahead and take off his margin left. We can see him. And why is that way? It seems really, really tall. Maybe we have yeah, look at that. Look how tall that is. I can't even see the save button there. Okay, so we have some other desktop issues as well. Is it only this page that does that? So here's fine. If I play, it's fine. Okay, so let's just play a little bit. There we go. And then, right, get plus 14, so that looked fine. And then let's just go ahead and break it so we can get to the end game. Where can I place this? Oh, that can be placed there. So I'm not trying to win at this point. There you go. Game over screen. Okay, so that's a problem. This best streak, that's actually on my bug list. So that best streak doesn't show up. That's a bug. Our button over here is covered. That's a problem. But none of them have that screen issue like this does. So it looks like it's a desktop only issue. So let's see what's causing that. So here's our emoji picker and our class. Where's our button's up there. That's weird. How can it be up there and I can't see it? Scroll and view. That is really weird. I mean, it looks like it should be right there. Yeah. I mean, it's got a size and everything. Let's just bring back our emoji picker and see what happens. 10 a.m. Okay. So everything just overflowed. Now you can see it gets cut off. Okay, so it looks like on desktop we just kind of have a height issue here with our pause. Our pause is a flex. Oh, okay, I see. So what we did with our pause is we made it a flex box. So display flex, right? And made it a column and just said put as much space around everything as you can. And so we have something here, this 52 pixel by 52 pixel, 36 by 47, whatever. We have this little image, and we have this thing. And this thing doesn't have any constraints on its height until I did that, right? And so you can see as I bump that up, how it's forcing that little icon, the startup icon, to be squished. And that's because I'm using Flexbox. Because it's trying to make enough space for everything, including resizing. So yeah, that's my problem. So on desktop, my emoji picker is just way too big. On mobile, go back to mobile and refresh. Mobile, it's fine. This is, you know, this whole emoji picker on mobile, it's only 500 pixels tall, so it's fine. And then on desktop, okay, so what causes that to go from 500 to 800 pixels when we switch that? They don't look that much bigger. So okay, so we can see our font size on desktop is 35 pixels. On mobile it's 33, which is fine. Okay, so it looks like we really just didn't specify how big this should be, right? And so it's, you know, he's going, okay, I'm 2 EM from 35, so there's our enlarged size. So all we have to really do is tell our emoji picker what kind of size it should be. So let's say height, 50 view height. So if it's only that big, right? And you go, okay, so well, even if I do that, we still have all these things pushed off, which we saw when we did the other height when we just set it to pixels. So we need these guys to all shrink down as well. And they all use EMs, right? So so if I do something like that, so I said make the fonts half the size, half height. So you can see we got that, but look how big that box is still, right? Well, we're setting the font size, we're only changing, see, okay. So when I did the grid templates here, you can see I did 30 view width, 30% view width. So they're always being 30% view width regardless of what's inside of them. Well, if there's 3 at 30, that makes sense that when that view width is too big, because each one of these boxes is supposed to be taking up 30% of the screen. So 1, 2, 3, that's 100. So there's our problem. On mobile, why didn't that do? Is it just because it's so much taller on mobile? Yeah, like mobile's not bad at all. Yeah, it says 30, but it looks like we have a bit. Oh, because I'm doing view width. That, here we go, I see. So for our rows, I'm doing 30% of the view width. On the mobile, the view width is much smaller. See, now we're seeing what we see on desktop. Desktop is seeing this, and I'm seeing the problem on my desktop because I'm still looking at it as if it were like a mobile screen. That's weird. So if I do this, Look at that. If I do this, right? So let's make this, I don't know, 800. There you go. Okay, so we found the bug. So the bug is for this template row and column, 30% of the view width for the column height, or even 30% of the view height for these is not going to work. So, you know, there's some easy fixes for this. One, don't use 30%, or we could use a variable, or we could use EMs. I love EMs because EMs are easy to control and scale. So, you know, let's just see what would happen. Now, we're saying like 30%, right? Because we wanted 3. But let's just say, what if we wanted 25%? So let's try that. Right? 25, save it. Okay, so 25%, you can still see it's a bit squished. And of course, I could have just tried that here. I didn't need to save and reload that. See here, yeah, so that looks fine. I really do think EM's probably going to be the way to do this here, just because. So with the EMs are amazing. If you want responsive scaling design, EMs are amazing because, you know, I have a mobile and a desktop version, and they have different base font sizes, and then everybody bases their size off their parent size. So if you have a child that's always supposed to be half the size of your parent, EMs make that really easy. And it will always be, even if the user uses the zoom to zoom in a page or zoom out a page, like if they have trouble reading. So, okay, back to the problem at hand. We want to use EMs for this. So let's go back to our grid. Here's our grid. So let's go ahead and try some 10 EM. Look at that. Whoa. You know, 10 is way too much. 1's way too small. 4. 4 looks okay. Let's try 4. Yeah. And should I change the width? Let's make that 40%. A little wider. I don't know. Probably didn't do anything. Yeah, like I didn't really do anything to make it wider. Yeah, didn't do anything. But yeah, it looks the same. Let's start dragging. Looks the same. Yeah. Look at that. Looking good. Looking good. Let's check on the device simulators. It's still squished up there. So close. You can see on the XR, which is a slightly bigger screen, it doesn't get squished. So we're really, really close. Let's go ahead and play with that live. Find a number we like. So Safari, and I want to make sure I'm connected to the iPhone X. Cool. So that was that one. And let's go back to our screen. There we go. There we go. Just wanted to something in there. There we go. There's our columns. So we have our rows at 4 EM. And it makes that button look a little squished. What if we just make the button a little... it's got a height and width attached to them. Why is it circle? Yeah, he should. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm not sure why he's squished like that. Because he's got a width and a height on him. So he should be square. He's getting adjusted somehow. I'm not sure. Anyway. Okay, so I just don't want I want the button to be more circular, and I was thinking if I kind of popped him out, he wouldn't be affected. But then, you know, why am I doing the whole flex box in the first place? Actually, why? And so that's why I was looking to see if he had a specified height, because if he did, I would be like, oh, okay, let's just make him square. He's totally square. See? I mean, he's not square, but he is somehow. He's, yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to him to force him to be squished like that. Okay, so before maybe 3.5. Let's see, now he's square. Everything still fits. Let's try it here. Oops, I don't need to build because I'm just changing CSS. So yeah, that still looks fine. That still looks fine. That looks fine. That looks fine. Sweet. So those are all looking good. Let's just go ahead and try. So Galaxy, Pixel, iPad. Yeah, all looks good. Sweet. Cool. So we fixed that little UI glitch, which is nice. Now we can actually save and go back. Although we still have our original bug on desktop of, I click this, now what the heck do I do? Oh, how did I know to do that? And my G cuts off. Worry about the G later. So, one problem down. Let's go ahead and save our changes, because anytime you make a good change, you want to commit that. Responsive fix. Cool. Awesome. So, okay, so now back to our desktop problem. I could do here is, okay, say I take this. That's good. We don't want mobile view. And let's go ahead and take that out. So, okay, so now I can see that, right? And so I sort of have an idea, right? I can click and something happens. So, you know, what should we do? If we have a box with a caret, the user's gonna kind of know what to do with that. So let's just see what happens if we kind of stick it over on top of. Yeah, let's just see what happens if we stick it over on top of that thing. Transform. Translate. Let's say 10 pixels by 0 pixels. Right, cool. So we can transform it. Our width is way too long. Width 1 em. Width 2 em. Height 2 em. Right, so it looks sort of like my box now, which means all I'd have to do is place it something like that, right? So it's not quite big enough. Maybe 3. is a little big, but that's okay, because we're just kind of playing here. So, okay, so then what if we did, you clicked, look at that. It's like, oh, what's that? I can type? Oh, I can type. Click. Oh, okay, I can type. So, I think this is how we're going to fix our desktop version. On mobile, we don't need to do this. I don't know that it'll look terrible on mobile, actually. Yeah, I don't know that it would look terrible on mobile. So we'll just let it display on mobile for now, and we can easily hide it if it looks terrible on mobile. Hide it by just keeping the margin left on it, right? Our hack to hide it off screen. Mobile can just keep doing that, and we'll make desktop do this. So, in order for this to work, we need to match the size and position of the piece, of a specific piece element we're gonna wanna use, right? And so, how do we do that? I think what we really just need is the first grid child that has a non-empty cell, and we just replace that one. So if we clicked here, it'd be that one. If we clicked anyone on him, it'd be that guy. Here it'd be that guy, right? That guy, and that guy for him, right? I think that's probably the easiest. And you could also, if you wanted to be you could also do something where you made all of the non-ones input boxes, and then they would all look the same. But we'll just start with one. We can always expand and do fancier stuff later. First thing we need to do is just get it working. So what we need to do is we need to get the position of one of these guys and give it to our input. And we probably don't want him to be positioned in the flow of the document, right? So we'll just do a position fixed on him. So then he's out of the flow. He won't be considered in the calculations, and then we can kind of just stick him wherever we feel like it. So picker emoji input. Display now. Oh. This doesn't even apply. Wait, what did I do? I feel like I'm on an old copy. Fetch. Okay, here's what I wanted to be. I was in the wrong file. Silly me. Okay, so here's where I wanted to be. Oh, but that was a good point. There is no input in there anymore. I removed that, right? And I forgot. Say picker emoji, right? Yeah, li input. The input's not in the li anymore. So don't need this either. And the li can stay like that. Cool. Go back to our input. Position fixed. So it's out of the flow. We can do whatever we want to it. Don't need to merge on left isn't really going to do much anymore since we're fixed. So, yep, so we're way over there. Cool. Okay, so we also wanted to set our size. Emoji width and emoji. Oops. I should be doing this. I was doing this in the wrong file because I was thinking of pause, but the input's part of the emoji picker, not the pause menu. So, oops. Let's go ahead and fix that up. And we'll stick that above. Cool. Everything worked. Cool. And we can go ahead and cool. So cool. Now we just need to put him over the thing we want to put him over. And I think we will dig into that later because I'm out of time. So you can see where we're trying to go. We did fix one bug, a responsive bug between mobile and desktop. And so now we're working on another type of responsive bug, not one caused by the sizing issues, which you typically think of with the responsive issue, but due to the fact that the way desktop and mobile devices are used differently, and the expectations of the users on those particular devices. Here on desktop, it's everybody has a keyboard. It's expected to have a keyboard, and you're expected to know how keyboard works and what an input box is. So if you see an input box show up, it shouldn't be a big surprise to a desktop user. The mobile user, we made a nicer experience because we have the ability to pop up a virtual keyboard since they don't have one. They gave us that extra functionality to provide a better prompt to the user of what we want them to do. It's like, hey, go ahead and pick a key, pick an emoji, hopefully, but any character would work. So that's where we're going, and we're gonna get there one session at a time. So thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.